In this video, I'll be ranking all the attackers in Vector Glare, starting off with Ace. Ace for me is one of the best hard breachers in the game, yet the S tier for me is essential operators only, in my opinion. I don't want the S tier to be flooded with 20 ops. At the moment, all the ops are quite damn good in this game, so I'm going to try to keep it concise, and Ace is a fantastic hard breacher. However, for me, Maverick is a better hard breacher than Ace is. Ace and Hibana are up there in competition with Maverick, but if I had to rank all my hard breachers in order, I'd put Maverick way above Ace, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying any of the hard breachers are bad, because they're not. I think Ace's kit and gun is fantastic. However, Mav's gun and kit is fantastic, plus he has nades, plus he's 3 speed, plus he can open electrified walls. All those things just make Mav, make him the complete hard breacher in Vector Glare. Moving on to Ash. Ash right now is like a B tier, maybe even C tier operator. Guns are okay. The R4C is manageable if you can recoil control. She's still 3 speed, still her gadget, but I think her gadget is slightly, you know what, it's slightly underwhelming at the moment. I think I'm actually going to put her in the C tier, because I don't really think Ash brings anything when you've got your Sophia, LMG metas, all these other operators like Box Sledge that are on the board rather than Ash at the moment. So I think I will have to stick her in C. For me, Kali is one of the worst operators in Rainbow Six Siege right now. I stay away from her at all costs. I think her gadget is okay. Yet again, it is counterable now with bandit tricking, all those kind of things as well. She just one-shot snipers aren't in it. There is a one-shot sniper being heavily buffed called Glaz, which I'll put him in the tier list in a minute. So I just think Kali falls away down the pecking order. Twitch, Thatch, all those operators are 10 times better, even nading from below or above or zero. All those kind of people much better than Kali. I'm going to go with a little spicy pick. I've been playing Dokkaebi more than ever in Season High Caliber, and I actually really enjoyed her MK14 with the 1.5, and now with the Universal 1Xs on the other guns, I think she is B tier because situational, B tiers for me is going to be like situational operators that are fantastic. I wouldn't pick Dokkaebi every round, but if you're going for some sort of executor, Dokkaebi can still be very fantastic on the board. Shame she doesn't have nades anymore. It would be a fantastic addition, but for me, she's going to go in B tier. Next, I have Fuse. Fuse is going to go, I would almost put him in S tier right now, honestly, you know what, I'm going to do a quick little, oh my god, brilliant mind. There's no screen shaking this season, which means for me, Fuse, as an attacker, it doesn't bother you anymore, and it's still destruction on the defensive side. So I think he has the AK, he has 4 Fuse, he has 2 hard reach gadgets. I just think, it's only the 3 speed that's bad about him, but he has Boom Boom, so, I mean, you know what, I'm going to go with it. He's the wild card pick for this season, for me, the one to keep an eye on, and I want to play a bit more and actually be surprised on how good he, not even to get a kills with, just utility clearing his gadget can be. Finka, yeah, Finka's Finka. She's the best operator in the game right now. Even without an LMG, I still think she should be S tier right now, but even the LMG just makes it instant S tier at the moment. I might as well get the other one that's really annoying out of the way. I think Finka is S tier without LMG. I don't think Sophia is S tier without LMG. Without the LMG, she's going to A, maybe even B, but I think I'd probably put her in A. But right now with the LMG meta, and it's still saying this season, unfortunately, I've got bad news if you guys don't know. I just like, you know, it's just a shame. So these two will be very prominent again for another season. It's a shame. I don't like the LMG meta, but it is what it is. Now, this is going to be the most interesting character for me, and that is Glaz, because Glaz is now 3 speed with a bearing 9. That makes him crazy now. I think I'm going to put him into A tier right now. I think Glaz has the potential to be a hella meta operator again. He has the nades, he has his sniper rifle, he can even do smokes with him obviously, but I think you're supposed to combine him now with Sense if you can. I just think he's going to be crazy up on certain maps. I don't think he's going to be a must pick, which is kind of S tier for me. Again, Fuse again, not necessarily must pick, but I just think Fuse is my wild card. I think he's going to be high up there on an A tier. I'm very excited to play Glaz. Hope you guys are excited to play him as well. Next up, we have Flores. Flores for me is he is actually A tier, but I think for the conventional player, which is what I kind of do my tier list for, the best of the best in most elos, I probably put him in B. He's very situational. You need cover when you're droning. You're very vulnerable when you're solo queuing, all those things. However, he is one of the best to clear out and blow up things, as you've seen in Pro League. So I'm going to give him the good old solid B tier. He could definitely be A tier. I'm not fighting that. I just think for the average player in solo queue, I don't see him, and I don't really rate him myself when I'm solo queuing. When I'm with a team, I'm feeling very confident. They've got my back. Plus, he has Claymores now, covers him a little bit, but he's just not quite enough A tier for me. Gridlock, unfortunately for me, you guys can find me in the comments if you want. Gridlock for me has not quite hit the nail with her buff. I think she is better, but I just don't see her being any better than C tier. She just can't beat that for me, even with the LMG. But if you take away her LMG, she's definitely C tier. I don't beat it. Lion is a tricky one because I think he's worse than these two, but he still serves a purpose. I'm going to stick to my gut. I think he's a C tier operator. He's great. I think he moves up a tier if he's played with Dokkaebi and other operators like Jackal, for example. Makes him stronger, but as an operator by himself in solo queue, he's decent, but he's not the best. Decent gun, you know what he's about. A Monty would normally go into D tier for people, but I think a well-played Monty, especially with sense now, is actually going to go up on the list. And I'm actually going to put him into B tier. I think a fantastic Monty play can win you games just from being a great Monty play. Monty's a nightmare to deal with when you've got people behind him that are good players as well. I think with sense, creating more chaos, more walls, it just allows Monty a little bit more cover, a little bit more aggression for a Monty. I think it's a good thing. As you guys know, I'm an Amaru main myself, but unfortunately Maru is still not higher than anything in the sea. I love her so much. I will keep making Amaru videos. I love that character to death. I love she's bringing something different that no other operator can. However, you don't want, like, honestly, unless you're really good with it, I still don't pick her in ranked matches a lot of the time. Only on certain maps for me personally. Blackbeard goes straight into the D tier. I don't like Blackbeard. I think Blackbeard needs a full rework. Blitz and Blackbeard are two operators for me that need a full rework in the modern day siege meta, unfortunately. I don't know what that would be, but they are just not needed in any single side take. Obviously, it's up to you. Blackbeard shield can come in useful, but most of the time, he's absolutely just not needed at either of these characters. This character is the most, honestly, more underrated than Fuses and more underused than Fuse. If you're ever thinking, what character can I start playing on attack to help my team, especially in solo queue, but even with your teammates, it is My Slime Zero. He has one of the best guns in the game with 1.5. He has a Gon 6, and I'm pretty sure he has Claymores as well. I think he's 2-speed. He has 4 cameras, which, you know, you can give information, has 1 zap on it. Genuinely, the most underused character I see is Zero. Unbelievable character, very underused. Is going to still be great no matter when. He's still going to be great no matter what season, as long as they don't touch him. So it gets a little bit tricky for me. I still think Osa could be an S tier operator, and I love her. PDW with a 1.5 is cracked. However, I don't think she's any more than, you know, she's not any more than an A tier. I think she's fantastic. Shielded makes you vulnerable, but if you play her correctly on Windows and stuff, she's an absolute nightmare to deal with. So I'm going to put her in A tier. It's nice and solid. I don't think she's quite good enough for S tier. I don't think she's bad enough for B tier. This Nomad change, unfortunately, is going to go put her in A. I used to put Nomad in S tier a lot of the time because I think she's the best roam denial kind of character, but now this air jab change kind of makes it a lot of the time when you get air jab pushed. If you guys don't know, her air jab's got, instead of 2 seconds on the floor, I think you got 1.25 seconds now. And there are times where that actually gets you enough time to stand up and get away from it, or get away from them reacting to it, because you're not always next to your air jab. So I'm going to have to put it into A tier. I always come controversial with these things. You know I can't help myself. I'm actually going to put Thermite in B tier. I do think he is the worst hard breacher out of the lot. So I'm going to have to put him below the other hard breachers. I know he serves a purpose. I know he's decent. I know he's the first one. But it's just with all the other operators, there's like with Mav, you can do electrified walls. With Ace, you can do it from a distance. Ibana, you can do it from a distance and do hatches or do 2 pellets, blah, blah, blah. You have to be on the wall and you can't get off your gadget if someone swings you or something like that. He's incredibly vulnerable and definitely the worst one in my opinion. Bot goes straight into A tier, has everything you want. Honestly, top of A tier as well for me. Has everything you want, has 2 hard breach gadgets as well. Great gun, obviously. You want to play in vertical. I think a lot of people don't play Bot correctly, including myself at times. So he's going to go into A. I don't think he's a must bring. You could argue him for a must bring, but I feel like I said, I'm going to be strict on my S tiers. There's not going to be that many in there. Capitao is also going into the A tier. If you count with his LMG, he's high A tier. If you don't count with the LMG, he's still A tier because he's got his 2 fires, 2 smokes. Again, a little bit like Zero, probably the most underused properly character in Rainbow Six Siege Attack. So if you guys want another character to start playing, it's him. He's a lot of fun, by the way, and I am starting to play a bit more Capitao recently myself. Twitch is one of my favourite characters. I am a Twitch main, however, I don't think Twitch is good enough to go into S tier. I find this hard at the moment to decide what characters go into S tier and what characters will not go into S tier. I think Twitch could, but I do think I just don't think her gadget is enough to bring her into S tier anymore, if I'm being 100% honest. She's not a must bring. I mean, Thatcher, for example, I'll take him now, is obviously an S tier, which is kind of like not, she doesn't rival Thatcher, but you know, her gadget can do the same thing. I think for a really good Twitch, she is S tier, but if you're meh Twitch, she's not a game, I mean, she doesn't bring that much to the team apart from her drones, apart from insane, like gun obviously, but that's not what we're judging it off. We're judging on all characters here. For me, Ian is still easily an S tier operator as well. She's going to have to put her higher on the list because I think she's like the 3rd best for me right now in the game. I think if they got rid of her nades or Gon 6, she might drop into A tier, but right now, she's probably the best informational gather / entry fragger kind of operator other than, you know, your Twitch and your Thinkers and those kind of people. So, and Sophie, obviously, sorry. So I think she easily holds the S tier without even any debate here. IQ unfortunately is in B tier for me. I think one little IQ change, she goes skyrocketing up the ranks, but right now she's still a solid B tier operator. Situational when you see a lot of electronic gadgets, you do want to still take an IQ in my opinion, but that doesn't really happen that much. So unfortunately she's going to lock out the B tier. Sledge used to always be high up on my list now, but I think I'm going to have to put him into A tier now. He's still solid, still brings a hammer, great gun, nades, everything you want, but him losing the SMG-11 almost just cost him like the S tier for like permanently now. If they leave him as he is, he'll never be better than A tier in my opinion. The SMG-11 getting rid of, which I can't ever understand, but it will never push him past the A tier. Jackal for me is still S tier throughout and throughout. There's no character that is as annoying as a Jackal and also as strong as a Jackal. Consistently, if he's not banned on roaming maps, you have to play in my opinion. He's a solo queue wet dream to be honest. So yeah, easy S tier operator for me. Nock's a B tier right now. If that Nock rework comes through where she can go through Elemines, cap cans when her ability is used, she's definitely A tier. However, for right now, it's got to be a B tier. Great gun, great nades as well, all those kind of things. Stealthy character, but it can't just go into A tier because the A tiers are your extras that you want to bring to your S tiers, and Nock doesn't fit that for me unless you're roaming on, I don't know, Favela or those kind of maps. She might be useful, but otherwise, no. Hibana is an S tier hard breacher for me, just because of the changing of pellets now makes Hibana incredibly flexible and can do what all the other two hard breachers, apologies, can't do. So Ace and Thermite, if you want to open a hatch with Ace, it costs 2 of your Selma charges, and again with Thermite you only have 2 and they're very big and blah blah blah. So Hibana can open, I don't know how many hatches it is, but I feel like it's 4 by herself easily and still have a few left over. So again, Hibana just the best, great kit as well. The only thing you've got to watch out is your bullet management. And the moment you've probably been waiting for, where is Sense going to fit into this tier list? So right now, honestly, I'm not going to put Sense into S tier because I don't think Sense is going to be like the game-changing operator that everyone's making out to be. I think they're going to create massive chaos into the game. It's a support operator, isn't it? So it's not going to be S tier. They very rarely are, unless it's like Finker. The supports don't really make it into S tier. I think they are going to be an A tier operator throughout, and going to bring fantastic chaos to Siege, which is what we need sometimes on attack. But I don't think they are going to be like the must pick S tier. But we'll see. I might be wrong. It's really hard to predict a new operator into the meta, but that's going to be my predict. I predict as Army as S tier, and I think she is. I think Sense is going to be between A, B, and S, around there, and are going to keep fluctuating depending on what nerfs and buffs they do. I forgot about Ying. I forgot about Ying, so let me quickly grab Ying. I was just going through and I forgot. So yeah, Ying for me is just going to go in the B tier. The extra Candela is great, but nothing more than that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you sticking by. Let me know in the comments what you agree with and disagree the most, and I'll catch you in another video.